Hello, my friends. Welcome back. Today, we're going to do a diamond painting tutorial, and we're going to start from the very, very beginning. You've received your canvas. It's still packaged. All you've done is taken it out of the box, bag, what have you, okay? So, obviously, the first thing you want to do is open your canvas. Most canvases that come in the plastic bags like this do have a flap that you can pull open. So you're just going to pull that open and take your canvas out of the bag. Okay, sometimes that's easier said than done, right? But it's all good. We got it. And then you want to take a look at your canvas. Right? We're going to use one of the smaller 20 by 20s because for a brand new diamond painter, you don't want to get overwhelmed. With your canvas is going to come your drills and your kit, okay? This is all you need to diamond paint. You have a tray, a piece of wax, and a single placer pen. For the purposes of this tutorial, because the people that are watching this tutorial will be brand new to diamond painting, we are going to use the kit that comes with this canvas in order to diamond paint. So we're going to put this to the side because we don't need it for just a moment. Right? All right. Next, you want to check and make sure that if your drills come in this gray train, and they do come packaged together, so go ahead and check and make sure that the number that's on the gray train is the same number that's on your canvas. So this is ZMO, these say ZMO, so the drills do match this kit. I've never had an issue with my drills not matching my kit, but it is a possibility. So you always want to check that just real quick. And then take these out of their little plastic bag. Okay, and set that to the side. Okay, so now you have your drills, you have your canvas. Okay, so as long as your canvas is poured glue, you can roll this backwards. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do that. You just bend it over. You're not going to hurt the canvas in any way. You want to roll it, right? And then just kind of use the heat from your hands and move that canvas around a little bit, making sure that you make it tighter, make it looser, just kind of move it around, massage that canvas, okay? And then when you open it, it's going to lay a whole lot flatter than it did when you first took it out of the packaging, okay? The second thing that you want to do is that you want to flatten your canvas even a little bit more using a tool, okay? And you're gonna do this by pulling your plastic back. Now, never pull it back more than halfway because if you take this plastic all the way off, it can be a beast to get back on, okay? So, right, notice that the top part is already looking way better than the bottom part. I turn them around just because it makes life easy for me. You will learn what makes things easier for you, okay? And then I'm just gonna push that plastic back down again, and voila. Our canvas is already looking much, much flatter. Now, this just has little rises in it from where it's just been folded around those diamonds for a long time, and you have a couple of options. Your first option is to lay it under something heavy for a while, and that will help it flatten back out. For the majority of my canvases, I should say, that's what I do. But even after I take them out from under something heavy, usually other canvases, if you don't want to wait for this to flatten out under something for a couple of days, you can iron a canvas, okay? There's lots of different tutorials out there that show you how to do this. I'm going to show you the way that I do it. I have been lucky enough to not have had ever ruined a canvas. That doesn't mean that it can't happen or won't happen sometime in the future. But so far, I've been super lucky and just haven't done that. Okay. So I've got an ironing mat that I can put on my surface. And so I don't even have to go somewhere else to iron. So I'm going to move my canvas to the side. I'm going to put my ironing mat out. Okay. Because this is a little bitty canvas, I don't have to worry about moving my mat around and making it fit. Now, I do try to make the ironing canvas as flat as possible in the area that I'm going to be ironing, but that's not even really necessary, okay? In order to iron a canvas, you always want to put it face down. Never iron the side where the plastic is, okay? It's a bad idea, right? You will melt your plastic, you'll melt your cover sheet, and that would be bad. So you want to iron with it face down, okay? All right, I set my iron on, medium, low heat, and you will notice that I am just constantly moving the iron around. If I have a canvas that is super wrinkly, I might hit it with a little bit of steam. This one was not bad at all. It was just those middle, kind of creases where it was wrapped around the drills. So I don't need to hit this with steam at all. And you will see that we have a perfectly flat canvas, okay? So I'm gonna let that rest for just a moment before I do anything else to it so that that glue has a second to cool down, okay? Because you don't want to be messing with it too much when the glue is still warm. As far as I know, you cannot, oops, not quite enough. You cannot iron double-sided adhesive. Don't hold me to that as like God's honest truth, because I could be wrong. But as far as I know, oh my goodness, that is the one thing about having my light board as my work surface, is that any little thing you can see it on this white. And you'll notice that, I mean, the glue, all I did was fold my mat back up, and my glue is perfectly cool. Like, I can put my hand on it and I feel no heat, okay? So the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to put washi tape around the outside edges of my canvas. And I just keep my washi tape in a big bag like this, so that any glue that has spilled over the sides just a little bit will not impact my ability. Well, it doesn't really impact your ability to diamond paint. I shouldn't say it like that. But it can, let's do this pretty flower one. But the little bit of edges of the overpour with the poured glue will attract hair and dirt and dander and all kinds of things. And when you are like me and you have furry overlords, they do like to leave themselves all over, right? so we don't want to get hair and whatnot. If you're working on a canvas and it's, you know, winter and you're wearing long sleeves, the fuzz from your clothing can get on there. Or I guess maybe if it's summer and, you know, you're cold all the time, the fuzz from your sweater, okay? So you just take your washi tape, you open it up, you line it up with the bottom, okay? And I'm going to turn it sideways because, again, being left-handed, I've got to be able to see what I'm doing and my hand gets in the way, okay? And you just run it along the edging, okay? Staying as close to the line, but not covering the line as you can, right? Oh, I touched, right? And try to touch the body of your canvas as little as possible. Now, if you are like me, that means, you know, 3 to 5 times instead of, you know, 10 to 15 times or something like that. You are not going to take the stickiness off of your canvas just by touching it a tiny bit as you go, right? You're not going to hurt it. But you also don't want to, you know, you don't want to just kind of throw your hands all over it all the time, because that's not, I mean, that's not good for your diamond painting either, okay? Right? Okay. So 2 sides down, 2 to go. And then you're going to have some options for how you learn that you like to diamond paint. I prefer to section my canvas using release papers. They just work better for my brain. Some people leave the plastic on and section their canvas off that way. I will show you both ways today because with this being a tutorial, you need to know all the options that are there for you. Okay. There are a couple of companies, I say a couple, Diamond Dots is the only one that I know that does this, that gives you a small border on your diamond painting that matches the painting itself, so that you don't have to washi tape if you don't want to. But a lot of us like the washi tape because we like the pretty colors. Voila. All 4 sides of your canvas are washi taped, and now the glue is only in the drill field, okay? All right, so your canvas is now prepped, okay? And if you choose to diamond paint using the plastic, this is your last step. If you choose to diamond paint using cover sheets, there is one more step. So we're going to do half of the canvas without cover sheets and half of the canvas with, so that you can see how both are done and make a decision on which one you like best, okay? With a canvas this small, I am definitely going to use my smaller cover sheets. I have a paper cutter, so I cut these myself. You can buy cover sheets of different sizes, but when I got my first set of cover paper, I didn't know what sizes I wanted things to be. So I didn't know how big to get my cover sheets. Okay, so that looks to be about half. So I try really hard to get my cover sheets in a straight line. It's not the end of the world if they're not, because these are easily movable, okay? But it's my OCD. It doesn't like it when they're not in straight lines, okay? So because this is a small canvas, we only need 3 sheets, okay? So, and cover sheets are semi-transparent. You cannot see as much of the image under them, but if I turn on the light pad, you can see the image through the cover sheets, okay? So I am going to go ahead and turn that off for the purposes of this video because it makes it really hard to see, okay? Now, when I put this plastic back up here, it will lay against the cover sheet. That's fine, but it's not stuck to it at all because the glue has all been covered, okay? All right, so, I can't tell if that is just yep, that's just a wrinkle, okay? And all the wrinkles are in the plastic. They are not in the canvas. If you flip the canvas over, you'll see that it's still perfectly flat. Do not worry if your canvas comes with some imperfections on the back of it. You'll never see that once it's done, okay? All right, so that is as far as we are going to go with prepping the canvas. Now we need to get our drills in order. As a brand new diamond painter, the easiest thing to do to get bead storage or drill storage is to go to your local craft vendor. Hobby Lobby, Michael's, Joann's, places like that. These little 28 storage containers are some of the first ones that most people start with because they are easily accessible. You can also get these off of Amazon or Temu, and I have seen sets of these, like 10 of these for $10 or something like that on Temu. And they come with this little outer storage box, okay? Flip these up, open it, and inside there are 7 of these little storage containers. They come out in sets of 4, and then they have these little pop-top lids, super easy to use, okay? And they work very, very well as diamond storage. So in order to use these, I just take a little deal of masking tape. You can use washi tape, you can use masking tape, you can use painter's tape, whatever you have available to you. And this may not even be masking tape. This may be white painter's tape. I am not even sure anymore. And I just cut it off in little squares that fit the tops of my drills. Or drill containers, I should say, and plop it on. I don't worry about it being completely straight. I don't worry about anything like that because it's only going to be on the container for as long as you're working on the kit. And that is not something that I worry about too much at this point. I probably worried about it a lot more when I was a beginning diamond painter. And I still like for things to be straight on my containers. It's just not something that I choose to spend my my time on anymore. Now, I don't like when it goes over the edge like that. There we go. But it's just not as important to me, okay? All right, so I'm in a time lapse, you guys, and finish this part up, and then I will return. All right, and we've got our containers with our tape on top. I did go ahead and do an extra container. These are quite small, and so sometimes you have to use more than one container for a bag of drills. So we're gonna move our big box off to the side. And I like to just have one container open at a time. That way, if, you know, I spill or something like that, containers don't mix together, right? Okay, with this particular bag of drills, I did get one that just kind of came on its own. So, we'll start with that one. I like to cut on this side. I find that having edging causes me to spill, so if I cut here, I tend to spill less. I also like to cut at a diagonal so that it creates kind of a funnel, okay? I'm left-handed, so hopefully you guys can still see this. We have a man down, and that's okay. Check your bag, make sure it's empty, pick your drill up, drop it in. Okay, so this was number 15. So I am going to use my handy dandy pen that I always keep around, and I'm going to write 15 on that particular little bottle, okay? All right, so I'm going to work backward in the numbers because that's just kind of how it worked out with the one that was by itself, okay? All right, so and you can just tap these, get them going the direction that you wanted. Okay. Okay. And pour. If you have some that get stuck in the bottom, it's okay to mess with the bag and just get them in there. And again, we have a man down. That is apparently going to be a thing for me. 14. And it doesn't matter with kits this small how you kind of get them in these packaging as long as you get them in the storage, okay? With kits that have larger numbers, you're going to want to pay way more attention to how you kit up because things can become a lot harder to find. But I have just found that it's just not an issue for me, okay? Now, we've taken care of that row. I am leaving one open at the end in case we have overages. I won't do that on the rest of the baggies. Because I can always add more at the end. We do have 3 extra storage units. So if I need more at the end, I can always add more at the end, but there's no need to add extra going into it until we find out whether or not we need them. Okay. All right, bag is empty. That's number 12. 11 did not come out very dark, so we're going to go over that again. And the kitting up process just, I mean, it only takes a few minutes, depending on, again, how many colors you have, how familiar you are with doing it, how often you do it. This first time, obviously, is going to take a long time because you're going to be uber careful. It's just kind of the way that it works. We call them hitchhikers, okay? And that is when the machinery is filling up the drills, they accidentally drop one of another color into the bag. Now, I have found that 99% of the time, the hitchhiker comes from the color either right before or right after. In this case, it came from the color right before. So I am just going to drop my little hitchhiker into the box for 10. Okay. All right. We'll get 10 cut open here. And we are rocking and rolling. Sometimes with these bags, well, sometimes with any drills, you can encounter static. Static is just something that seems to happen with weather, with travel, with, it doesn't matter the company, whether it's budget friendly, high end, anything like that. It doesn't, the drill quality doesn't matter, whether it's acrylic or resin. And I know a lot of these terms might be kind of unfamiliar to you as, you know, brand new baby diamond painters. But static happens, okay? It just is. So don't let static bother you. If you get a lot of static, you can drop some dryer sheets in with your drills, shake them around a little bit, and hopefully that will get rid of your static for you. If it does not, then you can put a little static guard on your, like on a Q-tip, and rub that around in the drills for a bit. I've also heard about breathing on the drills so that you are like you're trying to fog up a mirror, like because introducing some moisture to the drills sometimes helps. I've also heard you can put them in the freezer. I don't generally have to go past the dryer sheets. It's just not anything that I've encountered. I live in the Midwest, and maybe that's why. People, you know, that live in different climates may experience different levels of static and different types of static. Okay. So, come on. Okay. And last bottle. Oh, it is exactly noon where I live, so that means that they are testing the fire alarms. Not fire alarms, tornado alarms. If my dogs start barking, that is why. They do not realize that they test them every week, And so when they hear them go off, sometimes they will alert us because they want us to be safe. Oops, I'm glad I dropped that one. There was a straggler hanging on. There we go. But as I've been home for the summer and not, I've not reacted to the fire alarms. They have gotten less reactive to the fire alarms. So that's always a good thing. Oops, I cut that one the wrong direction. For my funnel, so we may lose some here. We'll see. We'll see if I can be careful. And that's one of the things is, as a new diamond painter, you're gonna have to figure out, like, how do you like to pour your drills? How do you, what's comfortable for you as far as, getting drills into containers. Lots of people use funnels. But as a brand new, diamond painter, you don't have those things yet. And honestly, that they're not necessities. They're helpful. They are very helpful accessories to have, but they're not something that you have to rush out and get, while you're still waiting to figure out if this is a craft that you are going to enjoy for a long time. And honestly, I recommend not getting a ton of accessories until you know whether or not this is something that you'll like long term. Because why have that money outlay if you don't have to? Okay. All right. Drills are ready. Kit is ready. Okay. Let's deal with our trash. All right. Now, this is the moment all brand new diamond painters are looking forward to, actually putting drills on canvas. Okay, so I'm going to move my drills to the side because I want my canvas in front of me. Okay, I'm going to start at the bottom, and because I'm left-handed, I always kind of start in the bottom left, and I work my way either up and then over, or over and then I come back over here and go over. It kind of depends on the canvas, the drills, the colors, and honestly, just kind of how I'm feeling that day. I don't have a set routine. A lot of diamond painters do, and if you find yourself having a set routine, there's nothing wrong with that, right? And in fact, a lot of people need that set routine. Because I'm going to be working with the plastic still on, I'm going to need a device called a cover minder, okay? And I say need, that word is kind of deceptive because I am perfectly capable, as is everyone, of working on a diamond painting without one, because if you pull this cover back, it clings to itself. You don't absolutely need a cover minder. But some of us live in different temperatures. And so we like to diamond paint with like a fan or, something blowing, or, we have kids running by, or, just various other scenarios that everybody lives differently, and there's nothing wrong with that. So a cover minder is a device that is intended to make diamond painting a little easier by holding this plastic back. So this is a little strawberry, okay, I got it in a kit. And on the back, there are two magnets. One is attached to the cover minder, the other one is opposite, okay? They are fairly strong. I mean, not ridiculously, like I can still take them apart, but pretty strong. You put the pretty part on the plastic. You slide the opposite magnet under the canvas, and then they attach, and then even if the wind blows, this isn't going to get in the way of the area that you are diamond painting, okay? All right, so now that the canvas is ready to go, let's get with it. Okay, there is plastic on both sides of this piece of wax, okay? If you try to stab your pen through here, you are not getting any wax on your pen, okay? This wax is what enables us to pick up the diamonds. So you do need to peel this front cover back, okay? Place your wax on a solid surface, put your pen straight down into the wax. It is going to easily cut through the wax. See my perfect little hole right there? Okay, let me do this. Maybe it's a little easier, okay? And then now your pen is filled with wax, okay? I like to put my cover back on my wax because, again, furry overlords. Move my wax to the side, and I have my tray right in front of me, and we are ready to go. Right? All right. So our first letter that I see is K. And as a newbie diamond painter, this is a mistake a lot of people make because they look at the numbers on the bags, they number their drills, and then they get on their canvas and they're like, why is there no numbers? Okay, so I wanted to show you. This washi tape does come up pretty easily, so we are going to go ahead and pull this up. We will lay it back down when we're done, but despite the fact that there are numbers on your bags, your canvas a lot of times will have symbols, okay? So, oh, I'm gonna have to take that paper up for just a moment, which is okay because our plastic is still on here. A lot of times your canvas will have symbols, okay? These symbols are all alphabetical. They are not in order, but they are all capital letters. So we can go back and fix this super, super easily. Number 4 is the letter L. Number 3 is a W. You'll notice I'm just writing them on here, no big deal. C, F. The number 8 is P, T, A. 5 is Z. 12 is I. 11 is J. 10 is K. 9 is H. 15 is V. 14 is E. And 13 is U. Now, could I have replaced all of my tape at the top and corrected this issue with putting my symbols on there? You bet I could have, right? And as a brand new painter, I probably even would have. But if you make a mistake, I wanted you to see how easy it was to fix that issue and how not a big deal it is. Because I do know how frustrating it can be as a new diamond painter to make those mistakes and not not necessarily understand or realize what you're looking at when you are kitting up your drills. Right, so I have a friend that when he brings his little ones over to my house, he's constantly telling them like, oh, don't touch the diamond paintings, like you don't want to ruin them. And I keep kind of explaining to him, you can't ruin these, right? That is one of the greatest things about this particular craft, is it is very, very hard to mess these up to the point that you can't do them, right? So that's one of the things that I love about it, right? All right, so down here, I am going to turn on my light board. I'm hoping that you'll be able to see these. We have the letter K. So I'm going to grab this set because K's are right here. I'm going to dump a few out on my tray. You can always put them back. You can always get more, so you don't have to worry, okay? You want the majority of them to be face up. Whatever's not face up, just kind of scooch over to the side, and now you have your drills ready to go. Take your pink pin, your white pin, whatever color it is, okay? Go straight down on a drill. You've just now picked it up. Go over here, place it right over the letter, and you are now diamond painting, okay? These are super easy to do. If you have some mobility issues or some issues with things like arthritis or carpal tunnel or things like that, these pink pins may quickly become uncomfortable for you. And so everywhere that you see a K, you just pick up a drill and put the drill on the K, okay? You do not have to worry about being so precise that you're worried about, any little thing showing. Do you want to be fairly precise? Well, yeah, of course you do. This is going to be a work of art that you are going to have for hopefully many, many years to come. So yeah, I mean, you want to be pretty precise, but you don't have to be perfect. One, because nobody is perfect, and two, because once we get a section done, I am going to show you how to straighten any drills, anything that might be slightly wonky or slightly out of place. Okay. When you get to a point where you still have some letters, but not your drills aren't right side up anymore, you just pick up your little tray, you shake it, you get them where you need to be, and you keep going. Okay. Once you have either finished all the letters in your little section that you're doing that have this symbol, or you run out of drills, you can add more to it. I finished all the K's in this area, so I'm just going to put my last two back. I'm going to open my container, and I'm just going to gently pour those back in, okay? The next letter that I see is a Z, so I'm going to go over here. Z is number 5, so I'm just going to open that, pour some drills in. Am I on camera? Okay. And then shake, shake, shake. Get as many of them face up as I can. Tilt it a little bit, get the other ones out of my way, and go back in with my pink pen and just keep placing. Okay. Now, one of the things about this pink wax is that eventually it will become less sticky. Okay. When that happens, You go back, oops, nope, that was a Z. And that's something else I want you to see. With poured glue, if you put a drill in the wrong place, you can slide it, okay? Now, sliding it doesn't always mean that it stays exactly where you slid it to, but you can slide it. You cannot do that with double-sided adhesive. You have to pry that drill up and move it. Right? Double-sided adhesive just simply does not slide. Okay? Right? So those are all the Z's that I see. So I'm going to dump my Z's back in and move on to my next letter. Now, what happens if, as I'm working, I find another Z? Well, honestly, I just go back in here and grab another one, right? This is not, you know, you're gonna miss letters. You just are. It's the way of things. We don't have perfect vision. We're not, you know, perfect. You're gonna miss letters, and it's fine. You just go back and fix it as you find them. There is a technique called spear fishing. You'll notice that I'm starting to have a little bit more trouble picking up drills. That is not because my wax has lost its stickiness. That's because these green boats do not tend to lay perfectly flat. Okay, so I only see a couple of L's in this section. So I'm going to find my L. Okay, it's number 4. And I'm going to show you the spear fishing technique. Okay, that's where you take your pink pin, you just go straight into your container, find a drill that's right side up, and grab it and lay it down. Okay, and that is easy to do when you just have like 1 or 2 of a letter that you potentially missed. Okay, all right, the next letter that I see is U, and there's only a couple of those as well. So let's do our spear fishing technique one more time so that you can see that. And voila. Oh, one more. And I didn't get one that time. It does happen, no worries. There we go. All right, I have quite a few H's and quite a few A's. As soon as I finish this little bitty section, I will complete this off camera. Oops. And that way I will be able to show you the next steps. Okay? Right? Because at this point, you are literally just stabbing and laying. Stab, lay, stab, lay. Like it's rinse and repeat, guys. Now my wax isn't tending to pick up very much, even on the places where this is laying flatter. So I will be able to show you what to do when that happens. Just take your little pink wax over here, take your cover back off, lay it down, stab it again, okay? Right, now you get your second little hole. And I am laying my drills pretty heavy on purpose. I wanted to be able to show you how to acquire more wax, and then you'll see that they are just picking up no problems whatsoever. You don't have to push as heavily as I am pushing. The glue on the canvas will connect with the drills and will keep them on the canvas as long as you have an adequate amount of stickiness. I wanted to push a little bit heavier to get that wax dirty enough that I could show you how to reload your pen, okay? Once you have, I only reload my pen 2 times before I clean out my wax. And in order to clean out the wax, I simply take a pair of tweezers, put the needles down in, and pull out, okay? The wax does come out really pretty easily. And as you can see how quickly diamond painting can go, right? Now, there are obviously some differences. Squares are, oops, I've got a hitchhiker. Go back over here where you belong. You know, rounds are easier to start with than squares. Squares take a bit more precision, a bit more, I don't know, I guess maybe just experience. I did my first square about a month into diamond painting, and I honestly wish I had waited longer, mostly because unfortunately my very first square was also my first double-sided adhesive, and I had never even heard of double-sided adhesive until I was in the thick of it and was really struggling with those square drills, and you know, kind of figured it out from there, okay? So with this particular kit, you do not have the ability to multi-place. That's where you use a head that will pick up more than one drill at a time. Even though there are areas of color blocking is where you have large areas of all the same color. So like all these W's put here together, that would be color blocking. This kit did not provide you with a multi-placer, so you don't have the option to use that for this kit. Now, if you had, say, a different kit that had provided you with a multi-placer, you could use that on this kit. But if you are a brand spanking new diamond painter, and this is quite literally the first kit you ever open, obviously you don't have that. And that's okay. It just means that the kit takes a tiny bit longer to do than if you have a multi-placer. I do highly recommend, if you're going to go with a much larger kit, that you do practice multi-placing, especially if your kit does not have a lot of confetti. So confetti is when you are changing your drills pretty often, kind of like what we were doing with this little area down here, where, you know, we'd have 4 or 5 of one color and then we'd put them back and get a different color. That is called confetti. So if you have quite a bit of color blocking in your kits, I do recommend learning how to multi-place, just because sitting here and doing this motion over and over and over can give you issues. There is such a thing as a repetition. I can't think of what it's called. I had it in my brain before I tried to talk about it. Like a repetition injury, where you injure yourself because you're making the same movement over and over and over. And so you don't want to hurt yourself, obviously. This hobby is meant to be fun and relaxing, not painful. So multi-placing is a way that you can help avoid that because you aren't making that same movement nearly as often. And it's unnecessary to make that same movement nearly as often when you have areas like this that you can color block. Okay. All right, I am nearly done with this section. So as soon as I get these last few drills laid, I will show you how to straighten your drills, and then we will sign off for today. I will finish this kit and we will take up the next part of this tutorial tomorrow. Okay. All right, so my section is done. Obviously, I would normally do a bigger section before I straighten, but for the purposes of this tutorial, there is no need to take up your time like that. So with my straightener came 2 other sizes. This is the medium, and then the small one is about half of this. I got all 3 of them at Dollar Tree. They were all 3 in a kit together. So all 3 of them at the same time cost me, I think I bought them back when it was still $1, but now it'd be $1.25. Still not a very big investment, okay? I take this, I line up the bottom, I line up the side, make sure my edges are good, and then honestly, I just run this down my rows, okay? If anything is out of alignment, it will push it back into alignment. I'm not doing it super hard. I'm just gliding it down the edges. And then I do it both horizontally and vertically. And then that lines everything up really, really nicely. I also do this at the end with the whole canvas, but I have found that if I do it section by section, it keeps things lined up nicely and I have way less issues as I go. Okay, all right, ladies and gentlemen, that is all I have for you today. Have the day that you deserve, and I will see you on the flip side.